Diane, you're good.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Diane Gary, and I am the chairperson of the Finger Lakes Regional EMS Council. I welcome you all here tonight, Monday, January 25th, 2021, to our meeting. Before we get started, can we have our auditors report? The executive has just met and we accept their report, but we'd like you to hear it from them. So Scott and Nikki, if you're there.
Sure, yep. I just want to first say thank you very much for having us back this year to do the audit. It's always a pleasure to work with staff and your organization. You guys do a great job, and it's an honor on our part to be able to do the work up there and get to see and everything once a year. I want to say that we did present the audit to the executive committee here earlier. It has been approved by them. And to give you a highlight, the audit basically was a clean opinion, unmodified opinion, technical term for it. That means we found no errors. It was in all material respects, I guess I should say it this way. The financial position, results of operations, and cash flows were fairly presented in the financial statements, which you have had a copy of. The overall view of the year end financially was that the position was down a little bit, but the receivables were up because you were waiting on money from the state, which you guys knew about, the 20% holdback. Revenues were down from classes and things of that nature, but in general, the overall results of operations and the cash flow position for the organization pretty much stayed the same, which is very good. A few new notes to the financial statements that had to be issued this year just because of COVID, but otherwise things were pretty consistent with the prior year in all respects. We did do our usual fraud testing. We found no issues with fraud, including our inquiries of management, and nothing was brought to light. So overall, it was a great audit, and as I said, the executive committee has approved it, and we're just looking now for the full board, I think.
Diane, I would move that we accept the audit report as recommended by the executive committee.
Thank you, Everett. Do we have a second?
You have a
Richard
second.
Mumford.
You got to give me a name.
Brian
Richard
Mays.
Mumford.
Rich, you weren't on executive to know.
Oh, sorry.
I got to have somebody from
Ted
executive.
Smith,
Tad Smith,
that would be
Thank you.
me.
all in favor of accepting this report from our auditor, please say yes.
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 Any no's? And the vote is carried. Thank you very much.
We thank you very much, and we look forward to being back next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
Bye.
So getting back to the beginning of the meeting. We can call this meeting to order. Before we start, I'd like to have a moment of silence. We lost three very dear people to us. As most know, Ed Wedge. He was a charter member of the council, a wonderful instructor and just a super guy. He passed away to an illness, and it wasn't COVID that we know of. Jason Borland passed away of cancer, another great, wonderful man. And Daryl Tomes also passed away due to COVID. And just a moment of silence for these three wonderful gentlemen. Thank you all very much. Jason, can we have a roll call?
Now, in the interest of record keeping and Zoom, I am just going to make sure I have everyone who's here listed, and then I will check folks off the spreadsheet afterwards.
Okay.
Marked present. Somebody just let me know if I miss you. Marked present, I have Diane Gary, myself, Fiona, Bill Little, Terry Phillips, Everett Ferguson, Matthew Sproul, Mike Moss, Tad Smith, Jeremy Hares, Eric Williams, Sandy Johnson, Miles Piercing, Jackie DeShaw, Valerie Schoen, Aaron Reese, Brian O'Kay, Kevin Becker, Laura Brewer, Brian Mace, Gloria Lance Taylor, Rich Mumford, Kevin Lightfoot, and David Hubble. Staff of John Van Auker, Donna Spink. Our guests from the auditing firm, Brian Weedman from DOH, and Al Kalfas. Have I missed anybody?
I had a text just from Ray. He is unable to join us tonight due to a commitment at the fire hall.
Okay.
Did everybody get a chance to read our past minutes?
Yes,
And
I move we accept the minutes from the past meeting. Bill Little.
do we have a
Tad,
second?
Tad Smith, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody else?
Aye.
I guess any no's? Maybe I should ask that. I guess it passes. Going into our committee reports. Secretary, do you have anything to tell us?
No, we look to be in good shape at this time, and I think I speak for the rest of the executive board and thanking everybody for their attendance and their involvement. That's all I have.
Yes, it's been a long time since we had a full council, so thank you all. I appreciate you taking the time to work this. Going into treasurer's report.
I think we had a pretty good auditor's report, but I think everybody should really thank the office staff because it was because of them why we got a good report. So thank you to John and Donna and Leanne.
Yes, without them, we'd be lost.
I would move we accept the treasurer's report as mailed.
Is there a second?
Richard Mum.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Training and ed, Bill. I know you sent a report.
Training Ed, the report was sent out, I believe, on Friday. If there's any questions.
Madam Chair, I would suggest that we accept the training and ed report as written. Tad Smith.
Do we have a second?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
As you can see by that, I'm amazed we have that many courses going on with COVID. So thank you all for working toward this. My executive report. I don't know if you all had a chance to read it, but I would like to thank John Van Auker. He received more than $3,000 back to the council for selling our unused textbooks, which was part of our huge bad debt. And I think that's a wonderful thing. So thank you, John.
Good job.
Very good. Thank you.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the executive report as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 And we're going forward. Public relations. I don't think we have anything going on for public relations. How about,
Diane,
yes?
we do have the one thing for public relations.
Yes.
Actually, we had the obituary for Ed, but we also had a nice article about the Dresden Fire Department and their loan closet in the Finger Lakes Times.
Oh, yeah, that was, you showed us that at executive.
So it's really, I brought that out for public relations. They do what nice job with it in Dresden.
Thank you. Anything for REMAC? We have a report from Dr. Edwards. Or Dr. Edwards, that was a while back.
I don't think Zoom was the thing then.
Dr. Davidoff, I'm sorry. Did everybody get a chance to look at Dr. Edwards' report?
No,
I move we accept.
he's not
I
with
move we
us.
accept.
You did it again.
Yeah,
I move we accept Dr. Davidoff's report.
thank you. I must be back in the 60s.
I was gonna say, update your notebook.
Do we have a second for that?
You have a second, Tad Smith.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Going into state EMS council, Jason?
My report was sent to all of you. There were quite a few approvals for some protocol changes. The SCT protocols that were worked on very hard by a group with the REMAC and some others were not exactly endorsed, but given a nod of good work by the state. The CMAC was not in a position, or didn't feel they were in a position to take on any kind of statewide oversight over interfacility transfers at this time. We did share it for the CMAC to look at medical standards as well, and it's already being asked for by other regions across New York to take a look at and probably either adopt within other regions or at least emulate the protocols and standards to an extent. In those minutes, just remember, none of the protocol changes that were approved by CMAC and SEMSCO are protocol at this time. They still do have to be approved by the Commissioner of Health before they are protocol. So just because you see it in the minutes doesn't mean it's protocol yet. Wait for that final release to happen. But lots of good work done, some progressive stuff done, and I'll entertain any questions.
How long does it normally take for that approval to come through, Jason?
Looking at the look on Mr. Weidman's face, that could be 3 weeks to 12 months, depending on how the commissioner's working with the COVID things. But it's usually pretty quick once it gets up there. So Brian, I'll let you answer that one real quick. Be better qualified to answer it than I.
It was actually probably the same exact answer that I would give you. I really have no idea.
Plan on 12 and hope for less.
Absolutely.
Is there any other questions for Jason for state EMS council? Motion to accept?
I move we accept the state EMS council minutes. Bill Little.
We have a second.
I second the motion, Valerie Schoen.
Point of order, please. I'm not sure we approve them. I think we accept them.
Okay, I'm sorry, I misspoke. To accept his minutes? Bill,
I move we accept them. Amend.
Ed, or no, Valerie, did you
Valerie
second?
did.
Yes, I did.
Can we accept them? Yes, Valerie?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Going into legislative review. Do we have anything for legislative review? John, program coordinator.
So as some of you may have seen, or all of you, we did send out the conference link. It's a Ticket Bud registration that we're trying this year. And then we'll convert those emails over into the Zoom account to send out the links for the appropriate sessions. We just posted that last week on Wednesday or Thursday, and already have received 70 registrations. So that's actually pretty surprising, but not surprising because we didn't attach a fee to it, just because of the nature of the the way it's being presented. So that's looks like that's going to be well received. Another piece that we have been working on here in the office is a CLI CIC update that will be conducted by Dan Batsey tomorrow evening and Thursday evening for those that are pre-registered. We just put that out there because we had a few instructors that were close to the end and did not expect the amount of participation when we send it out to my colleagues across the state. And to date, as of right before this meeting, we had 106 people registered for that. So again, that will obviously be well received. As a result, we ended up increasing our subscription to Zoom to be able to support the larger numbers. Looking ahead at the, just in case we need to do that anyways for the conference. So those are two trainings that we have going on. Just want to make mention that New York State Department of Health has, for anyone that's interested, I know some of you may have already taken it, the provider vaccination training program that's being housed on the Vital Signs Academy. Obviously free of charge. You need to go on. There's a self-taught module of some PowerPoint slides, as well as it's a three-part step. So you have the slide presentation, then you have a skills assessment that needs to be conducted by a physician, a nurse practitioner, an RN, or a PA. And then you need to go back on to the Vital Signs Academy and attest to completing all those processes and have that sheet available that you've completed that upon request. And that's it for right now until new business.
John, did we have anybody sign up for the conference that wasn't in our region?
Oh, yeah, probably 2/3 of them that are not in our region.
Wow, that's cool.
As well as the CIC and CLI instructor class. There's people from all parts of New York and New Jersey and some Pennsylvania because they cross the borders and work in New York City, or they work along that 86 corridor going into Pennsylvania. So we have people from Grand Island and Niagara Falls all the way down onto the island.
That's pretty cool.
And up into the Adirondacks, wide array of providers.
Good.
Make a motion to approve the program agency coordinator's report.
We have a second.
You have a second from Tad Smith.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, John. Donna, you're up.
What would you like to know? I did a more
winning
extensive
lottery
report
numbers.
because I know the one in November was short, so I tried to cover everything from the fall that we've done and where we are up to now. We'll start registering classes actually Wednesday night. A couple of the new classes start if they're going to go. We are finding, obviously, as you all know, that enrollment is down because number one, COVID, obviously. Number two is because of refreshers being able to catch everything online now, either from the state Vital Signs or wherever. There are fewer and fewer refreshers and core. We did have to drop the paramedic refresher and the paramedic core due to lack of enrollment in January from the college's side. We thought that probably would come along sooner or later. The only thing is it makes it difficult because there are fewer and fewer paramedic refreshers being offered. And the other issue is what we saw that registered for us for the paramedic refresher was someone who had failed the original and needed to come back through a refresher. So we've kind of tried to push her towards the Syracuse program because she has to be in something technically before the end of May of 21 in order to be able to complete. Otherwise she goes back to an original program again. So even in talking with my counterparts in the Southern Tier, that is also an issue down there, is there aren't a lot of true, actually what we know is true refreshers because they're all in the CME program. So, but other than that, we delayed the CCMTP class. It would have normally started around the end of January, first part of February with Joe Wiskowski. And with COVID, we decided that we would delay it at least until after Easter, hoping that the spike would be headed down because of the necessity of all the specialty physicians to get them in place and out when we have to drop a class because either a student tests positive or whatever, and the college decides to shut down that facility. for a week or two, it really messes up on the CCMTP program. So we are hoping that by pushing it off, at least it will get us past the hump, and then we'll go from there. And it may even bring some more to the program with the new SCT protocols and with the fact that it would hopefully be past the winter months that some of the folks from the North Country may come down.
Is there anything else for Donna? John, are you saying yes, or is that your hand being up, or? No.
Is that?
No, I saw John's hand come up. I thought he had a,
I would move that we accept the Donna's report is submitted.
do we have a second?
Sandy Johnson, I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And our last committee report is nominating. Terry, you got anything for us?
We've still got one online waiting to come in as soon as we lose somebody. And other than that, I've had no other people send in letters.
Well, let's give you a hand.
It's a nasty little side effect from that shot today. It's bound to be bigger tomorrow.
At least it was appropriate.
Terry, you are such a boof.
He always needs help anyways.
Such a boof.
Moving right along. Brian, would you like to say anything for us?
I don't think I can follow that. I really don't.
I'm sorry I put you there.
I'm very busy at the state, and I really don't have anything new outside of what was discussed at the FLREMSC meeting and stuff like that. If you've got any questions, I may be able to answer them, but other than that, things are pretty status quo right now.
Does anybody have any questions for Brian? In case you don't know.
Brian, this is Sandy Johnson. Is the state still on plan that the different corps are going to have to submit financial information to begin the process of changing the insurance reimbursement rate?
Sandy, are you talking about the Medicare data collection stuff that's going around, or?
Yes, I am.
I don't think that's anything to do with the Bureau. I think that's specifically Medicare is looking at having folks justify the data.
Yeah, that's administered by CMS, not the state.
So we are going to look at providing another seminar down the road for that. We have 8 additional agencies within our region that had their numbers drawn for calendar year 21. And I don't think they finished with the ones for 2020 yet. From what I'm hearing, a couple of the agencies had it pushed back. So I'm not sure how quickly they're going to get to all that.
Thank you.
Anything else for Brian?
That John can answer would be great.
Brian, I'll send you my bill.
Moving right along, and
20% of that will be held, John, for approval.
I was just going to say, and I'll only pay 80%.
Well, actually, on that note, the Bureau, I know Director Greenberg and the Lynn from Finance section of the Bureau has gotten approval to pay the 20% from the EMS grants that were held through, I think it was June of 21 at full voucher. So the 20% that was being held is supposed to be on the way.
And everything else that would be paid until June will be paid 100%.
Cool. Moving right along, is there any unfinished business? Donna, I think we have Yates County sponsorship.
Well, that would be new business.
Okay. Do we have any other unfinished business? I don't think we do. No, moving right along into new business.
So we received the request for, it's a change in core sponsorship administration for Yates County. And they are changing, Diane Caves is the core sponsor administrator. Doug Sinclair is the medical director. And Doug Paddock is the chief executive officer. And Dave Dawdle is the course administrator's liaison. I don't know if we have to really approve that. They just have to notify us and we have to make sure that we get it in our minutes.
Okay. So you've all heard that. Is there anything else for new business?
Why, yes. So as many of you might be aware, a couple of years ago, the Fishers Fire Department had applied for provisional municipal CON to provide ALSFR service to the town of Victor. Today, we received their packet because their time is coming. Their CON will have to be converted or denied by, I believe it's April, the end of April of this year. So the bylaws, or not the bylaws, the CON committee will need to review this document, which is pretty hefty in nature. So I asked that the CON committee at your leisure in the next week or so come in and review a copy of that document that'll be here in the office. We'll also be sending it out to an attorney for review.
Thank you, John. Anything else for new business? Moving right along into correspondence, I have 3 letters I must read you. From the Department of Health, please be advised that as a result of investigation conducted by the Department of Health, the following individuals' New York State certification has been voluntarily surrendered 11/24/2020, and this is for Carla Delago from Bronx. Her EMT number is 342409. The second one is suspended for 1 year effective 12/8/20. The suspension is stayed pending no new violations for 2 years and assessed a civil penalty of $2,000. And that is for the agency of Hartfield Volunteer Fire Company in Mayville, New York, 14757. The agency code number is 0648. And the last one. This ambulance service has been suspended for 1 year effective 12/18/20. The suspension is stayed pending no further violations for 3 years. It is assessed a civil penalty of $2,000. And that is for Christopher Foy from Central Square, New York. EMT number is 341769. And I have one more, and that's his state certification. And suspended for 1 year effective 12/22/20. The suspension is stayed pending a full service inspection and no further violations for 3 years. Assessed a civil penalty of $5,000, and that's Newark Arcadia Volunteer Ambulance in Newark, New York, 14513. And that is agency code 5839. And those are our list of notifications from DOH. Is there anything else for the committees, for the council committees? Any thoughts?
Madam
hope-
Chair, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Okay, I just hope everyone tries to come to the conference, even if it's virtual. We have a lot of good speakers coming. And with that, we have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second? Brian, are you?
You have a
Brian
second.
Meese? Oh, Brian Meese didn't get in. Okay. Thank you, Tad. All in favor of closing?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all. Be safe. Wear your mask. Get the vaccine if you believe in it. And take care. Good night.
You too. Bye.
Good night.